Get Chief Buckley to come in here in case you had a question about last night.
Gotcha. Chief Buckley?
Yeah.
I sent him your photo.
No, you good, you good.
Okay. Any question they have in it, internally.
Okay.
Wait.
Second. I'm just gonna do like a little brief.
Yes.
We'll take it from there. Just in case you have a question about last night, yeah. Y'all ready? You ready? All right. Good morning. Today marks progress for JPD with the swearing in of the returning JPD officers, but this right here is a game changer for JPD. We are bombarded with 911 calls. We answer between 7,000 to 10,000 calls for service a week at the Jackson Police Department. That impacts our ability to be proactive. This is a game changer. This is a self-reporting system that the citizens can go online and do a police report. In situations where it does not require a JPD officer to respond to the scene. For example, if your hubcaps were stolen 2 weeks ago, you probably don't need to see a police officer at your house. This is the way that we can alleviate that call for service, that interaction, by you simply going online, inputting the information, a report will be generated, and you will be emailed a case number. That is a game changer for us. It's crime self-reporting. And you also have the ability to upload pictures, evidence. That's huge for us. That is going to reduce our calls for service, and it's going to allow us to have a better customer service to our citizens. The brainchild of this is Assistant Chief Vincent Grizel, and I'll let him deep dive into the details.
Good morning. I got to give a little credit to Chief Wade. We was in a meeting, and Chief Wade announced that he would like to see a reporting system to reduce these crimes so we can focus on other stuff in the city of Jackson. So we went out, and with Collage and some of the other brains in the room, we put together a self-reporting system that allows people to go online, if they don't want to see the police, to do small misdemeanor counter cases. If you need a cell phone, you missing a cell phone, and you need a report to get a replacement. Things like that, a pothole, windshield, or whatever you need done, that kind of self-reported. Now, when it comes to the other particular crimes, person against person, then we're gonna need an officer on scene when it comes to domestic and things of that nature. But hopefully, we're praying that this does reduce the call for service, which allow more time to our officers to be able to patrol your neighborhood, and we can do more things in the community as we come about. So if there's any questions, feel free to let me know.
What are the response times to those some of the reports that you guys did?
Well, actually, we did a couple of tests. Ms. Busio here went into the RMS, which is Record Management System, and that Monday morning, she actually had our first reporting from a security guard. And he did it right. It was awesome. He didn't have any training, and that speaks a lot of volume that he's able to click on that and go through the reporting system and get exactly what he needs for the apartment complex.
And is the system on, this online system?
Right now, it's live right now.
Live
Yes,
right
sir.
now.
What about, what about weeding out, if you talk about people uploading evidence like photos, the possibility that somebody could be uploading stuff and trying to unfairly accuse somebody of a crime?
Correct. Now, we still have people, detectives are actually putting those cases. So if there's something that does come through there that get bypassed us, the system, we are going to knock on their door and check on that.
Yeah, and I can answer that too as well. It's going to be a disclaimer that if you file a false police report, that you can be prosecuted. It is a misdemeanor. So if you decide you want to get back at your neighbor and report a crime and list them as a suspect and it's false, yes, we will be following up with you as to why you did that false police report. Any more questions?
Will walk-in reports still be an option for citizens?
Yes, absolutely. We have a police officer assigned at police headquarters to take specifically walk-ins. We think this is something that's going to help us tremendously going forward because we are so bombarded. When I talked about going from 12 hours to 8 hours, our police officers were answering 20 calls within that time period. And I understand when people call the police, they want to see law enforcement, they want to see the police, but some of those incidents do not really require police responders. So it's a way for us to alleviate and also be more efficient at how we deploy our resources here in the city of Jackson.
Chief, how long does it take on average to respond to it? Maybe a routine call, that could be a couple of hours, right, just for one call?
Well, in routine, we have what we call a priority system. If there's a situation where there's imminent danger, imminent harm, you know, somebody shooting at you, that's a priority call. That goes to the top. Unlike if it's a property crime, like the hubcaps I talked about, that's a very low priority call. So we have a priority system. It's not just a queue system, it's a priority system.
What I mean is like when an officer is dispatched, the time to investigate, to try to take statements, how much?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if he was dispatched to a call, it could take an hour or so. When I worked back in homicide, you know, for 9 years, we would spend almost all night on an aggravated assault or a homicide. So it takes time to process a scene, to work a call. But I'm not talking about homicides. We're talking about just property crimes, misdemeanor stuff that's going to alleviate that contact with the citizen when sometimes a lot of citizens don't want to see the police. They don't want the police at their home for whatever reason. We understand that and we get that. This is a way to alleviate that. And I'm just excited that it's going to relieve us of the burden of so many calls for service. These officers are essentially going from one call to the next, one call to the next. That eliminates our ability to be proactive. We want to stop being reactive and be proactive. Any more questions?
Can you talk about what happened in the last 24 hours of that incident at FBI?
Yes. We did get a call last night. It's very disturbing that someone was shooting at the Jackson FBI office. We dispatched units out there. My understanding, the first call, we did not locate the person, but upon our second response, we did locate the person. They were arrested. They were charged with being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. The firearm had obliterated serial numbers, which of course is another federal charge, but it's very disturbing. Why he did it, who knows? But I'm so thankful that we got this person in custody without anyone getting hurt or losing their life. Why he chose that location, I do not know. We'll find that out during the interview and also working in collaboration with the FBI. But it's very disturbing when someone decides to do something like that. It could have well been the Jackson Police Department headquarters or another law enforcement entity. But it's very disturbing, but that person has been arrested.
Now, I heard something about he showed up demanding to see someone at, I think, at the guard shack, and he fired shots into the air. Did he actually fire shots toward the building or up in the air?
I do not want to deep dive at that at this particular time. There is video surveillance available to us. And like I said, it will be a joint effort between us and Jackson FBI.
And will you be investigating whether this is politically motivated, given all the talk that's going on around the country about defunding the FBI and all the related to former President Donald Trump?
Yeah, as we move into the investigation and we continue the investigation, of course, we know there are layers to it. And it would be very premature for me to comment on that, especially go from here all the way to Washington, D.C. I don't have that information available to me, but I know that working in conjunction with the ATF and the FBI, we will come to, the final decision as to why he decided to do this.
Is there any update on the Raymond Road story from a couple of days ago?
It's still under investigation. Again, that's very disturbing as well, for someone to park a car and put a body in the trunk of the car and leave the car. It bothers me that that type of behavior is so normalized that you feel it's okay. And I guarantee you when we get to the root of what happened, when we make an arrest, it was nothing that justified you taking somebody's life and thinking that little of them to put them in a trunk and leave them. We will never normalize that type of behavior. I'm excited about naming the first layer of my team because we're about to step the game up. Those days, I use a football analogy of playing prevent defense. We're about to go into the 46 blitz, dealing with these issues of crime here in the city of Jackson. So this is going to free us up to be proactive, and the approach that we're going to take from Chief Griselle and Chief Watts is going to be a little different, so put your seatbelt on. Thank you.